Well,
okay, here's the thing. I don't hate zombies. No, okay, I hate zombies. I hate zombies.
He told me that to begin with, so...
But...
you can put it on me, the criticism, it's alright, but it's good for us to get criticism, so we can take some of it and use some of it. We don't have to take it all, we can take what we want.
Let me just say, the fundamental problem with this comic that I had is that it's so average. Well, it's so average because it's such a typical scenario. There is a zombie outbreak with an ancient curse. Ooh, I haven't seen that before. Oh, it's in a college too.
Yeah. But you gotta give
I've seen it in high school. That's not really all that different.
Yeah, high school, college. A lot
of people would say
the
high school of the dead, and it was trash.
A lot of people would say the high school thing is more relatable because more people go to high school and not as many people maybe go to university. But
why would you?
But
zombie flicks are usually not directed to teenagers. They are directed to adult audiences that hate life and hate other human beings. That's why zombies are so popular, because killing zombies, it's like killing other humans, but without the moral and ethical consequences.
No consequences, yeah.
In fact, let me go back to George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead.
The slow zombies.
The original, the real zombies, which are called ghouls, by the way, at the time, which makes more sense because ghouls are Lovecraftian.
Is that the one? Is that the one where they're
dead bodies?
Is that the one where they're all hiding in the house, and then the guy calls everybody a bunch of yoo-hoos or something?
I think it is. Yes, okay. They are hiding.
Black and white.
They are stuck in a cabin, and the main character is actually black, which from 1968 that was
pretty cutting edge. Yeah.
But that's also but that harkens back to the theme of the film. The zombies in that film symbolizes our inherent and atavist fear and distrust for other human beings. Which is also the message of the film. See how nihilistic the ending was. And then we cut to Dawn of the Dead, in which the zombies become a satire of humanity in the modern consumerist society. See the mole scene, which is legendary. And then there's...
was filmed at...
Yes.
Was that filmed at Irvine? Or no, that was Planet of the Apes was filmed at Irvine. No? What was filmed at UC Irvine?
Planet of the Apes was filmed in the 60s, Dawn of the Dead began in the 70s.
Okay. Planet of the Apes. I'm thinking of Planet of the Apes.
We're talking about Dawn of the Dead. What does Planet of the
Apes... So you think maybe if we called it Ape Outlaw, then that might have your attention. Apes...
Wait, a super mutated...
maybe
gorilla, a super mutated gorilla...
Let's say he
that would be more interesting, actually.
He mutated into an ape.
Yes, but don't have...
Which you couldn't control. And then the ape bit someone on in the college campus.
If you had
turned into another ape!
If you had them act like zombies, then they become zombie apes. Then it's basically the same thing. It's only gimmicky. It's only more gimmicky. Okay, here's the thing. I gave you an idea accidentally.
They say anytime you put a gorilla, or an ape on the cover of a comic, this old DC Comics editor, Julius Schwartz, in the 60s, he edited all these great old Superman comics. Said his theory was once you put an ape on the cover of a comic, it would sell more. Thus, they had Gorilla Grodd and all these other characters.
I wonder if that was the whole premise of that short-lived micro-series Monkey Man and O'Brien.
Yeah, Monkey Man O'Brien, Mike Mignola.
I think I have an issue of that somewhere.
Yeah, that was another.
Anyway,
back to Art Adams.
Back to George A. Romero's zombies. So Night of the Living Dead. Atavist distrust and fear for humanity. Dawn of the Dead, satire. In Land of the Dead, I'm excluding Day of the Dead because actually...
Now, is Land of the Dead the one just from like 10, 15 years ago?
Yes, Land of the Dead was...
Asia Argento, who I met at Comic Con. Actress.
Yes.
I met her at Comic Con like 15 years ago, and when she was in the movie Triple X with Vin Diesel, and I got her to sign my magazine. It was I think we had a moment there, but it was when I was single. So.
Your wife is over there.
Yeah, my wife is there, but this was in the old days.
Hi, Laura.
It was, Okay.
So, what I'm saying is that Land of the Dead instead was the zombie film that was supposed to end all zombie films in existence.
It was the best because it had Asia Argento.
No, but it was the It was the ultimate zombie scenario. Why? Because at this point, the zombies. They literally became metaphorically became the proletariat. They became like the working class, rebelling against the tyranny of the human aristocracy. So basically, zombies in that film had their own version of the Bolshevik Russian Revolution.
And it seemed as if there were more did they indicate that they
Which
had more
was- which
intelligence?
which
was
was-
there was like a lead zombie
Yes,
in that one?
the zombie leader was a black
Black guy.
gas man.
Yeah.
Gas station man. You cannot get more blue collar than that.
He was like the alpha zombie in that.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That was interesting. I'll give you that.
that's okay. That was interesting. I mean, it was both incredibly silly, but also kind of brilliant. But either way, however you feel about Land of the Dead, it was unique. The idea was unique, and it was supposed to be the ultimate zombie film. And after that, you cannot do anything anymore because everything has been done, and that was should have been the final one! Exclamation point to the whole zombie craze. Little did they know that was just the beginning of the zombie craze because that George Romero made other two completely idiotic zombie films.
Yeah, so he made a couple after that.
Yeah, he made.
That was the last
He
one.
made
that I saw.
Diary of the Dead, which is Diary of the Dead, which is the most pretentious undead flick ever made.
So you're saying that one was pretty stupid?
It was freaking idiotic. And then there is something of the Dead, which is the most forgettable thing ever.
I'm going to tell him to look up Land of the Creeps, which is kind of a zombie outlaw-ish. It takes place at a college, which I had not seen this before I wrote Zombie Outlaw, but after we wrote the first one, we had seen it.
Honestly, you're kind of putting me off for this film already.
Land of the Creeps.
But here, okay, so my point is the whole leitmotif with the George A. Romero's films and at large with the zombie films in general is that zombies, in one way or the other, are a metaphorical representation of humanity. Which, again, going back with my argument, killing a zombie is like killing another human being. Which is a cathartic thing to do, that we all wished we actually killed all the people we hate. Sometimes we had that fantasy. Let us not lie to ourselves.
But it gives you that
by
freedom to do it because they're brainless.
You're killing undead, brainless creatures, which means you do not suffer either ethical or moral consequences for it, in the films or otherwise. That's why they've been so popular. And then The Walking Dead comes along, which is the most generic zombie outbreak scenario ever, except it's prolonged and it's realized. So it's instead of being 1 hour and a half long, it's like 10 hours of that. Oh gee, it's a zombie apocalypse. I wonder if people are going to die tragically in it.
Well, that was his idea that the creator Kirkman.
Can we just agree on the fact that the very beginning of the show is directly ripped off? Of the comic too is directly ripped off from 28 Days After.
This is what I've heard.
It's the same. It's the same premise.
He wakes up in a hospital.
Yeah, after a coma. It's the same thing.
Yeah, well.
And I don't like 28 Days After even. So, yeah.
But Robert, the creator of that Walking Dead, I'll say Robert Kirkman, his whole thing was that he wanted to see what happens. Because usually you have the movie, the beginning, middle, and end. So his idea was what happens at the end of the movie. What happens after this, you know? And in Land of the Dead, or in one of those movies, they're all like, they escape, or they get to somewhere where there are some survivors or some people who escape.
Okay,
but you never see... So this is kind of prolonging it, dragging it over the course of a few seasons.
Sorry, but...
In theory, at least, you can develop the characters more, you can get more
there is a logical flaw to that knowledge.
But I'm just saying, this was his.
There is a logical fallacy in that.
Okay.
Okay, so what do you think in a regular zombie film, in a regular post-apocalyptic in which there is no hope for humanity, all you have left is to survive? What would happen at the end of Dawn of the Dead or at the end of Land of the Dead? You know what would happen? The same thing over and over again, because humanity still have to survive from the zombies. So nothing changes. You just modify the scenario a little bit, but it's still the same thing over and over again.
It's a way to explore the character, like, you know, with I guess in Walking Dead they can explore the Rick character. They can follow him.
Here's the thing:
his arc or his kid.
Here's the thing:
this badass.
I've seen
kid.
The first 6 episodes of it. Yeah. And it bored me out of my skull.
Which is that's the one that most people really thought the first season was the best, or some of the best episodes, and then
are you kidding me?
People complain about the second or third season.
Are you kidding me?
Well, this is just what I'm just telling you.
First season bored the skull out of my face or something.
Okay, here's the name of the actor.
The characters were boring. The stories were cliche seen a million times, and it's a zombie outbreak scenario.
Sorry, 'cause
there's only one way it could end.
I've been looking down it because I've been trying to find on my phone that the actor who he needs to research here in Land of the Creeps. The actor's name is Tom Atkins. Tom Atkins, and he's in a lot of great films in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Tom Atkins, Land of the Creeps. But anyway, getting back to Walking Dead.
Actually, let's not go back to Walking Dead.
It's based on a comic book series, so I feel that
necessary.
I feel a need to defend it to some degree. Robert Kirkman, he's done a lot of cool stuff in comics. That was a really successful series as far as popularity, but I think maybe it does go to what he says about people, the fantasy of killing without consequence. But it's also the apocalyptic.
I mean,
I think it's not just that.
The problem is that it's been done too many times.
But I think
too many times. It's not interesting anymore. It's not.
But you bring up the point of that it's a fantasy.
It's not fun anymore.
You bring up it's like this power fantasy or it's this ability to kill without consequence. But it's also the idea, which maybe ties into that though, of there's economic disparity in the world, and that kind of levels the playing field. You know, a guy who does, for instance, work at a gas station, or a guy who does have a menial job. If a guy's a janitor, but he would happen to kick ass in the world of zombies, being a CEO of a Fortune 500 company doesn't really inherently lend you much of an advantage in that world.
You know, I wish a zombie story would actually openly address that instead of keeping everything in the subtext. Because as it is, the scenario you were describing, again, it has been done too many times. Too many times to be relevant or interesting or in any way.
But you don't find that
profound anyway. It's been so obscenely abused. It's literally overrated. You can't see anything anymore in it. You just see Dawn of the Night of the Living Dead, Daywalker Dead.
But you don't find that
5,000.
But you don't find that a little interesting though. The different people from different socioeconomic classes are all jammed together.
No.
You know, we're gonna see who's
not anymore.
He's clearly a fan of Marvel's Blade series. That Wesley Snipes. Forget Daywalker.
I don't really care about Blade.
Blade, come on, and they had Morbius the Living Vampire, and I don't think they ever introduced him, but that's from a comic as well. So I'm a Marvel Comics guy, so they have a lot of zombie stuff in Marvel Comics.
Oh yeah, superheroes turns into zombies. Such creative idea.
Oh yeah. There's a little Shazam elements of
Shazam is DC.
Yeah, DC. But you have Billy Batson, Shazam. Well, I know, but I'm just saying like superhero.
By the way, he's Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel. Yeah. Well, that's now they call him Shazam because
Shazam
is a trademark thing.
Shazam is the phrase, just the transformation phrase.
Well, now they call it. A lot of times they call the comic Shazam because of a trademark thing or something. Marvel had a Captain Marvel also.
I don't know, Marvel has a Miss Marvel now.
Ms. Marvel, but they had Captain Marvel or Marvel.
Can't wait. Well, I can't wait.
Who actually died of cancer in the comic
I can't wait for the Unbeatable Squirrel Girl movie to happen.
Squirrel Girl, which I was just reading. Squirrel Girl. They've released 2 #1 issues in the past year of that comic book, both with the exact same creative team, and that's kind of interesting. It's kind of strange that and they even referenced that on the cover of the new #1. Like,
can I say,
wow, 2 #1s in the same year. So
that's crazy. Can I say something about the zombies?
Yes.
Because I have an idea.
He loves zombies.
No, I hate them. But
deep in his heart, he's just warming up to it.
No, but I would love to see something original, if not original, created done with the zombies. So I had this idea. I had entertained this idea about a new way to use zombies in a more open political and social context, allegoric context. Okay, so let's imagine we have the classic zombie outbreak scenario in which the dead don't stay dead and they come back to life. We don't know how that happens, and it's never explained, because if it is explained, it becomes automatically stupid.
Midichlorians.
Resident Evil Umbrella Corporation. So, let's imagine if these zombies actually don't act like the zombies, but they are just, like people. They act like they used to when they were alive. The only difference is that now they are undead, which means they don't need to sleep, they don't need to eat or to drink.
Pay taxes.
And since they are dead, they don't pay taxes. But they don't even go to work anymore because they are technically officially dead. So here's the idea. How will the presence of the undead actually affect the world, both at a social, economical, and yes, even religious level?
So you think instead
I would like to see a big time story, Game of Thrones style narrative with multiple point of views and multiple main characters and multiple facets of society and multiple statuses.
instead of zombie panic, you're just saying more of a political this affects.
I would like to see not a zombie panic, but a zombie civil rights, the economical dysfunctionality of having zombies, people not dying, which which becomes a commentary for the economical crisis. Zombies.
So would it be more
not getting their jobs and having to?
Would it be like a zombie True Blood? In True Blood, they integrate them into society.
Here's the thing: True Blood had potential, but it's squandered completely to be basically adult Twilight.
Well, the first couple seasons were better. You know?
No, I think that you can do much more with the undead because the dead are not a minority, unlike the vampires in True Blood. They would be like half the planet, and when half the planet is the undead, then you will face a major economical crisis. I imagine all sorts of scenarios, which zombies they can.
Well, if they don't need to sleep, they don't need to eat. They can work 400 hours in a row.
But they get
cheap labor.
But
that could solve a lot of pain in China. Are you listening?
They could pay less. So we have a social commentary about immigration, how immigrants are treated. Then we have those racists against zombies, and also those religious nutcrackers who think zombies are a sin. So we have other commentary about religion, a commentary about racism, and then maybe you would have some
politics.
Yes, then there's the political side of things. How the government responds to the zombies as a social community, as a community. How can they actually turn around the economical crisis and use zombies to their advantage or disadvantage?
Can they control them?
How can you control the rate of the death?
Can they apply them to military purposes, like the Raptors in Jurassic World?
Sure, the possibilities are endless, and maybe you have zombies hunt down and killed by some nation, some ethnical group in Africa, and you would have a commentary about ethnical genocide in Africa and persecution in general, and that's only at a larger scale. Then you go to the more intimate and personal, emotional stuff, like somebody's beloved family members dies, but they come back anyway. And the world is telling you that they should not be back. So how does a family react to that if their boy or their daughter dies, but then it's not dead anymore? And how will the character himself react to the fact that now that he's dead, he will never grow up? He will always look like a child. He doesn't need to sleep, drink. He cannot enjoy food anymore.
So what are the psychological implications?
Yes, and I can see zombie psychiatrists and focus groups.
Yeah.
And the possibilities, like I said, are endless. You can do so much with the undead, aside from the tired, overly done trope of the zombie survival scenario.
Okay, so World War Z. Your thoughts?
Screw that! I didn't care. I didn't see it anyway.
No. I didn't read the book, but apparently the book is very different from the movie adaptation, which happens a lot. That supposedly had a lot of what you're talking about. I mean, although it had the zombies killing people and people killing zombies.
Then I'm not interested.
But it did have supposedly more political. A breadth of political.
I actually want to see a story that goes against the typical idea of killing zombies as a cathartic outlet for the worst of humanity. As when the zombies are actually still people and act like people, they're just, living impaired, so to speak. So would you? And yes, I want to see someone inventing a politically correct term for calling the undead not zombies, but the living impaired. That's. So would you? It's like the word in Ghost in the Shell, where half the population are cyborg, basically, and how that would work. Of course, with a lot less of political bullshrimp and more emotional drama.
But are you proposing not to have any death or killing in the story?
No. They can still be put down with the classic way of the bullet in the head. No. Which is why
them killing humans too, or living people too.
Well, if they do, Well, if they do it, they will do it in like other humans do, and that would be the clever thing because
so zombies would pick up a shotgun. And
no, because because zombies are us and we are the zombies. That it's like the overarching metaphor for all zombies films ever made, but brought to the surface instead of the subtext. Huh? I'm a genius, aren't I? I should write a comic.
He wants them to be. Yeah.
No, not really. No.
This is just his proposal, though. One of his ideas.
So you can feel free to take inspiration from that, and also
I think he's gonna enjoy.
I am a better artist.
He's gonna enjoy issue 3.
I'm just kidding.
With Dario Dorboni. He's gonna enjoy this character. So that's gonna spin. That's gonna turn him around.
I think I'm going to be really offended. I think I'm going to fake being offended instead.
Okay.
Jesus.
We'll have to get a. But if there's ponies, then it's gonna change.
No, I think it's worse. Actually,
it's gonna turn everything around.
No, I think it's going to be worse, and I'm just going to be bitter. I'm going to be even more bitter by this.
He's gonna be the mortal enemy of Scooter Loser. So
Scooter Loser. I see. Okay, if you have him call him Scooter Loser, I'm going to be happy.
then maybe.
I'm going to be really happy about that.
We can figure something out.
It's going to be my favorite character. Me. So
very good.
The fact that somebody is going to be willing to insert me in their story just to spite me, it means that I basically made it as a critic. So
yes.
The battery is almost dead, so I think we should wrap this up.
Well, thank you for having us here, and next time Ben may be here with an implement of destruction. So we'll see how it goes.
Oh well, let's see about that. Buy Scott Pilgrim versus the comics of Scott Pilgrim instead of the zombies.
Very good. Brian Lee O'Malley, he doesn't need your money though. So just buy a Zombie Outlaw.
All right. So buy a Zombie Outlaw so you can burn it. You can do it like
It's good.
What they do with the Shaquille O'Neal games? They burn them. They burn them once a year. They burn them once a year. So we should do celebration of burning these books.
I was just at the Coliseum, which I believe they had a scene.
Your wife is sleeping. She's adorable.
They had a scene in a great
we are watching her sleep like
classic
a couple of
film, Simon Says, featuring Dennis Rodman and Jean-Claude Van Damme, filmed at the Coliseum. I believe they have a...
That was not the Coliseum!
Was that not? Okay.
That was not the Coliseum!
I thought that was the Coliseum.
That was not the Colosseo, by the way.
Coliseum.
It's the Italian name.
Isn't that where they had the climactic battle?
That was not the Colosseo!
Was it supposed to be It was supposed to be...
They pretended it was. It was not. How stupid! How stupid do they think people are?
Well, I fell for it, so I thought, hey, this is the Coliseum.
Ignorant. Ignorant fool.
Okay.
You should know what the Coliseum looks like. It appeared in the bad green screen for one of the Naked Gun films.
Oh, okay.
So you should know what it looks like.
So they actually used the real shot of it in that.
Same.
Okay.
For making a joke about Little Italy.
Oh.
Some course. Oh, there's the Coliseum in the background. Clever humor, guys. Aged splendidly. Okay.
We'll wrap it up with the Naked Gun. Thank you.
See you next time. This has been Brian Apodaca.
This is Adriano.
Yes, that's my real name.
Madhog. We'll blur it out.
And this has been Sleepy Laura is Sleepy, which is literally sleeping. Oh my gosh, she's so cute.
Sleeping with Rainbow Dash.
Don't take this out of context, please. That sounded so wrong.
So wrong, but
Laura,
so right.
I am watching you while you sleep. Isn't that romantic, Bella? Isn't that romantic, Bella?